I am. Hi, everybody. It's me, Oberon, for TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. But this is my show, Oberon's Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges, my weekly tarot astrology forecast that kind of gives you the information on what's going on in your emotional life. What are the currents, undercurrents? What are the ups and downs? So to do that, we start with our collective thought for the day. And I used the Isis Tarot, which, as I say, is not really a tarot, but uses some of the archetypes from the major arcana, along with some other sort of general oracle fortune-telling kind of cards. So I'm going to ask my handy-dandy producer to select the card. I believe she did this last week for us. Handy-dandy producer. Don't drop it. I do that. Oh, look, handy-dandy producer. You pulled number 36, Cornucopia. Woohoo. So let's check that out. And so remember, this mostly pertains to emotional matters. So I can tell you right now, somebody maybe is going to have their full bounty. It's actually the last card in this deck. Spiritual wealth. A healthy look at the fertile ideas, eloquence, somebody who might grow into a celebrity. Thanks for noticing. Born for happiness, creative, an artist, generous. Well, with mere days before Valentine's Day, I think that's a wonderful card. So let's just take that and run. So that was the Isis Tarot collective thought for the day. So to do our regular reading, we focus on taking the signs of the zodiac and dividing them by their astrological association. So I'm going to do the air signs first. And air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So this one's for you. And for each set, we do 4 cards, with the first one being from yet another deck, and it's the word of the week. So just give these a shuffle, and we just get one defining word to additionally help us through the week. So this one I'm going to pick myself. And, ooh, it's number 16, the obelisk, which of course is also known as the tower. And so the word of the week for the air signs is be prepared to learn a lesson. Make sure you embrace that lesson. Make sure you understand that although there are some destructive effects, this was really spiritually for your better. And you will learn from this if you pay attention to that. Okay, air signs. Warned is forearmed. So now we're going to do our regular reading, the additional 3 cards. And I want to thank my producer. She is such a quick study. She has learned how to make me look fabulous. So I think she gets an extra Valentine's Day kiss for that. And by the way, don't forget, but part 2 of my love spell is on at the end of the show. It's about 3 minutes long, so check it out, please. Okay, our first card is for the air signs. What emotional happiness will you find this week? The Ace of Swords. Your happiness will really relate to the doing of things, but maybe more specifically, the undergoing of a real undertaking. So since it's emotionally happy to you, this is something you've really waited a long time for. Maybe it's a special devoted hobby or project that you're taking to a new degree, a new level. Maybe it's about romance. Maybe you're making the move towards creating an actual relationship with somebody. Whatever it is, you are taking joy and happiness in that undertaking. It's that doing that is bringing you happiness. Now, our next card is what are your possible challenges or surprises this week? And in that one, we have the reversed Hierophant. And that's number 5, major arcana. And so, what will be challenging this week is that maybe within that context of the love of doing is the idea that maybe you're doing it really unconventionally or you are challenged to do it unconventionally for whatever reason. Now, immediately my thought is, and this is for air signs, is Mercury's retrograde still this next week, so almost any application of doing things may end up being unconventional. So I'm wondering what that means there specifically, but I think that's a good hunch there that we will be challenged to work things out in ways that maybe we don't normally do. Then finally, what will concern the emotional happiness or the emotions of the people we care for in our lives, whether they're our spouses, our lovers, co-workers, other relatives, children, things like that. And that is, another ace, but this one's the reversed one, the reversed Ace of Cups. And so that is kind of a bummer there because I guess other people in our lives, our platonic friends, that was the word I was looking for a few moments ago, lovers, etc., maybe they're feeling unachieved by what has started in their life that they thought was bringing them emotional happiness. Maybe something is really souring that outlook. And so you may want to, be gentle with them. I don't believe there's any combination of the energies there. It's not your doing that is causing their feeling bad. But it may be that, if there's some extra doing you can do that maybe helps them, you might want to consider that. So don't forget, though, too, that this lesson is about an important lesson you may have to learn, but all systems are go, really. You are loving what you're doing, even if it is a little bit crazy for you, Mercury retrograde, whatever, and just check in with others and make sure, that you can listen to them and see what's bothering their happiness. So that's it for the air signs. We're going to move on now, and we're going to go to one of my favorite signs. You know who that must be. It's the fire signs. Yes, fire signs. Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. These are the ones who are the true agents of transformation, just as air signs may be more of the thinkers. This encompasses that too, but it's a dynamic sign, fire signs, and I love them. So now we're going to pick their word of the week. That additional word that can help them through the week, perhaps. Oh my, see, that worked, that helped. Veneration. Veneration is their word of the week. And I think this card is saying, make something sacred in your life or consider the sacred. Give honor to what is sacred in your life. It doesn't have to necessarily be God or the God or goddess you believe in or the essence you are resonating to the strongest, but it could be that. But what else could be sacred in your life? Maybe it's just, the sacred love you feel for other persons or for humanity as a whole. Think about that. And so as while I got you on that moment there, I think I had a few questions about the overall purpose of the spell I'm doing in 4 parts for Super Tarot Love Month. And I think it should best be explained as the concept of you learning or embracing universal love and self-love. Because without those kind of things in our lives, we can't necessarily have other love. And so that's really what the object of the spell is. So check that out later. But now we're going to move on to the reading. It's really more of an affirmation than a spell because I'm doing more prayerful things. But we'll get to that later. So now for the fire signs. Whoa, that one jumped out. You know how somebody feels about things that fall to the floor. I guess I'll just have to go with that one. It's the Emperor, and it fell out reversed. So to me, this one is saying that for our emotional happiness, we are trying to struggle to regain our control, that this is what would make us happy this week when we can feel like we have been reversing some of the control or autonomy areas of our life. So if fire signs have not been feeling particularly in charge of things, need to embrace that energy that you do want that and you do appreciate that. Let that be your motivating factor and hopefully bring that back to you. So now to continue. What are the challenges or surprises for the fire signs this week? Oh dear, there's that tower again. This one is the Tarot's tower as opposed to the collective tower, or no, that was actually from Eclipse Tarot. But this is from the ancient Egypt. And so the challenge this week for the fire signs is to make sure you understand or learn or take in the lesson. And it may be a lot about what's going on in your emotional life right now. There may be some huge feelings of devastation or isolation or these kind of challenges or surprises in your emotional life. You have to remember there's always somebody there who loves you and will stick it out with you. And then finally, Mr. O's having a moment. Finally, what will affect your loved ones this week, whether they're platonic friends, your parents, your children, co-workers, your spouses? And it's the Five of Cups, upright. You will feel that the loved ones around you are feeling a loss and feeling that there are things that are not quite there for them. And you need to remind them they just need to look around and it's there. So let's recap that real quick, especially before I burst into tears. Your word of the week is veneration. So you want to think about what it is you can make sacred in your lives. You know, take a personal thing and make it the most important spiritual thing in your life. And then you want to seek reestablishing the control you may have felt you've lost, especially in the emotional realms. Remember that what is challenging is that you are not alone. There are people around you, and you just need to listen and take in all the lessons you need. And the people around you need to know that you are there for them, because maybe they're feeling a little lost right now. So that's it for the water signs. I'm blubbering, but I'm moving on.
That was fire signs.
Well, that's it for this water sign. Gosh, it's almost like we planned that. Okay, so now we are going to move on to the water signs. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. They need to regain composure, especially right now, this one. And what is their word of the week? Someday somebody's going to say, but that was great TV. Here, lovely one, pull the water signs word of the week. They're always read as upright. Well, thank you, baby.
We know where his head is at.
Love and desire are your word of the week, water signs. Remember to appreciate that, because what you love and what you desire may not always be the same thing. And as long as you understand that, it's probably for the best. But maybe other people have to understand that too. But that's your word of the week. Remember, it's kind of similar to veneration for fire signs, but maybe it's a little bit more on the earthy level. We're good with that. Okay, so let's move on to the actual reading. What emotional happiness will the water signs find? You mean it wasn't that card? No, it wasn't. But it's still a good card. It's the Prince of Cups. And the Prince of Cups is kind of like the Knight of Cups in most regular standard decks. And so that says that there's a good coming in of strong emotional energy. You're going to feel love. You're going to express love. You're going to find new things to appreciate. You're going to feel love. Because, hey, it's Super Tarot Love Month. And Valentine's Day is happening too. All right. Water signs and everyone. So then, what will challenge or surprise the water signs? And it's the Six of Cups reversed. And I think this is always challenging to the water signs, that they need to kind of love the past and let it go. They need to not be mired in the past. Their sympathies or emotionalities that come there. Face up to today. So then finally, what will the water signs' other loved ones be affected by this week? Whether they're their platonic friends, their co-workers, their boss, children, your Aunt Nellie, whoever it is, what will affect these people that are actually in your life this week? And it is the Princess of Discs. And she's upright. She's going to sit right over there. And that's interesting because the Princess of Discs is like maybe a younger person. She's kind of like the Page of Discs, Page of Pentacles, Page of Coins. And so she kind of frames that six there, that idea, the reverse six of, you know, you're lost in your past. But this is about the people in your lives. And so this is saying that other persons around you, and maybe it is specifically younger in spirit, younger in heart, they're questing for something. What they're concerned with is maybe advancing their own agendas, their notions. They've got a vision and they're moving towards it. And maybe you can help them with that. Maybe it's about really you understanding them and appreciating their youthful vision. So that was it for the water signs. Remember to keep love and desire in your heart. And also look for that good stuff coming to you this week. Try to watch out for being overly sentimental about the past. And remember that the young people around you need inspiration, are looking for it, and maybe you come in with that. So that's it for the water signs. And finally, we're going to move on to the earth signs. Earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Some of my favorite people. What is your word of the week? I think Mr. O is going to pull, Mr. Cool Daddy-O is going to pull the card this time for the earth signs. Their word of the week. Ooh, this has been coming up so much in so many other contexts. Justice. Wow, we're getting this constantly for our daily cards or in other ways that it kind of is a callback to that. So for earth signs, your word of the week is justice. Think about all the ways you can be on the side of true law and order, true truth, truthiness. Just be an advocate for advocating fairness and equality and respect for diversity everywhere you can, because you know that's an emotional kind of thing too, you know. So Mr. O likes that for you earth signs. So now we're going to go on to the reading. Don't forget to watch my lovely mate Banshee's Material Matters on Sundays. That's at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We often will grab a cup of coffee and sit in the chat room so you can engage with us. We'll kind of go over some of that reading and we have fun. So join us there. Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. What emotional happiness will the earth signs realize this week? And it's the Two of Wands reversed. And I think we're letting some things go. We're letting things that maybe were really, really holding us to an idea that maybe we're starting to realize is outworn. The idea was mostly about having firm mastery or control over most aspects of our life. And maybe what brings us happiness is the realization that we don't have to control everything, that we can let some other things be in their own control or have others control them. We can still find our modicum of happiness this week when we cede control to maybe somebody who is better at it. So then what will challenge or surprise the earth signs this week? And we have the Three of Wands, and it's upright. And that's kind of interesting because we had the Two of Wands in the first position. And the Three of Wands is sort of similar in some respects. It's better because, of course, it is upright. So I think our challenge is maybe thinking about what could be a new goal to put our energies towards, or how we can decide that the weight is also okay, that to see the investment and be patient and have trust and positivity over what we're waiting for, expecting to happen. And this may be especially appropriate in emotional matters. So if you're waiting to make certain inroads with people you care about or people you want to be more involved with, just be yourself and take it more at an organic level. Things proceed as they need to. So then finally, what will concern those other people in our lives, whether they're our loved ones like spouses or parents, cousins, co-workers, whoever they are, what affects them possibly this week? And we have Major Arcana 13, Death. And it's upright. So I'm thinking that someone we know, maybe a few someones, are really dealing with some big changes. They're having changes happening. And of course, these affect their emotions the most, is what the position in the card indicates. So it would be very likely that you would hear, that there are some big changes in one or more lives of those you care for the most. These are not changes that are bad changes. These are changes that are challenging changes, to be sure. They may change literally an entire perspective on how you've been doing things. It's big news, so be there for the change. Stroke them on, whatever, congratulates, and there you go. So just recapping real quick, this is a week for the earth signs to think about fairness with everybody, to let some things go if you need to also understand the value of patience and building and networking, and to appreciate the fact that other people have big changes in their lives too. So that's it for the earth signs, and that wraps up our reading. And I want to thank everybody for being here. It's been a real pleasure, especially as part of Super Tarot Love Month. Now stay tuned for part 2 of my Let's Love Ourselves and Let's Love the World spell. No, that's not what it is, but we'll see. I wanted this ritual to have elements that would take it over a 4-week span by maybe focusing on each of the elements, the magical elements of air, fire, earth, and water. I may not do them exactly in their typical order due to the astrological associations with some of the working that I'm doing. These are very light, they're not intensive kind of workings, and I'm mostly drawing from the Enchanted Tarot by Amy Zerner and Monte Farber, wonderful folks, and then also Murray Hope's Practical Egyptian Magic. So I hope you like, and I will put the 4 parts of the working together as one special video after the conclusion of Super Tarot Love Month. Super Love Tarot Month, whatever it is. All right. Gentle Nephthys, grant us tranquility and peace of mind, so that we may hear the quiet, still voices of the gods, and so do their will. Reveal to us that which is right for us to know, and steer us gently towards the path of emotional stability. As I look upon this joyful, open heart, I feel the new beginnings of love and happiness flowing through me.